Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Lost Odyssey on the Mysterious JG. Had a little think about this game and whether or not I'm enjoying it, and I think I am. The thing about this game is that what makes this game stand out and be different, because I saw an old Reddit thread about this game today. I was thinking about, oh god, I'm gonna record Lost Odyssey later. Actually, what really brought it on is that I was sitting down to name and write descriptions of the videos from the last session, and I went back and listened and was like, wow, I got really mad about that story. I was pretty upset, although I was having a lot of fun with it too. With the story of the Kime is working with a man and a woman at a dock, and they're of different races, but the man takes the dark complexioned woman. They don't specifically say that this guy looks white or anything. They don't compare them to real life human ethnic groups. But that whole story, and she goes back, and the guy really lets his family and the town just destroy her and doesn't really stand up for her. And then I start turning on Kime early in the story, but then that's part of where the story's going too, and blah, blah, blah. It's just at the end of the day. So I mentioned this in my description of a previous video, but I think what really has got me about this is that yeah, I mean you can tell these really emotional stories where there's like a really dark lesson to be learned, but you gotta fucking you can't just have that be the entire content. Like you gotta do something where we're invested in the characters first before we can learn anything if bad things happen to them. And like I mean, there's little moments with the Jodes before it all goes to shit. Although the Jodes are having a pretty rough time from jump. But anyway, um, no. But I was reading this Reddit thread and I was like, oh yeah, like the guy, because the people who still remember this game generally remember it as being this forgotten masterpiece, like a really great and amazing game. And I had pretty mixed feelings about it. Although I thought it was interesting. It's certainly doing something. It's trying to do something that not a lot of other games are trying to do. But people were saying, mostly by way of trying to praise the game, oh yeah, like this, those stories weren't written by a video game writer. They were, or a scenario writer. This is excuse me. They were making a big deal of the fact they were translated from Japanese to English by somebody from Harvard. And like, who cares? The guy who translated it could have gone to community college as long as he's good at translating it. Um, and maybe the fact that the guy was a Harvard translator means that I don't know, that means he's more or less allowed to take liberties with literal translation to get it to have more rhythm and style in English. Blah, 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 blah. The point was that no, it's translated by a Harvard professor or something, but it was written by an award-winning Japanese short story author. And I was like, well, okay. Without digging into that, there's an awful lot of award-winning authors in like fantasy and sci-fi genres who nobody's ever heard of, but they're kind of in their own little cliques are established, and that's fine. I'm not trying to knock anybody. But I was like, okay, well, you're like an award-winning short story author, but like, man, all your short stories, like, I can see how there's people who just like, oh, good writing is just it's writing that doesn't give in to convention. It's fearless and it's gonna go for the jugular as far as whatever story it's trying to tell. But I really couldn't get past the fact that like I don't even remember the names of the people from the story who weren't Kime because we don't know anything. Like we know nothing about the girl, the woman, other than that she was dark skinned, and then Kime and this guy. Like most of these stories have Kime having dialogue with one other person. Uh, and a lot of like third person omniscient narrator, well, I guess Kime, describes other people. It's like, I think the reason these stories aren't working for me is because it is pretty pretentious how they're all like, we're going to jump right into saying something terrible about the human condition. But it's a bit lazy when you keep throwing this stuff at us, but you don't take the time and the work necessary. And maybe short stories, you don't really, it's kind of hard to do this on a short story, I guess, but that's why I don't tend to read a ton of short stories. I'd rather be involved in reading a bigger work. We don't care about these people because they're not people. There's no characters in Kime's memories. There are plot points of like, here's cute girl who exists so that we can talk about how sad it is when people die. Here's guy who exists to talk about how war is bad. Like, I don't know, man. But my whole point was I'm not gonna get in a bad mood playing the game today. And I'm talking myself to one before I started. So let's go deal with these little kids who will all presumably die horribly. They'll all die. Maybe not horribly, but they'll certainly die. Okay, so uh, crystal fragments in the forest. Cross the bridge to the west. Immediately crossing the bridge, you can check the north. All right, I'm gonna make sure I have enough key seeds before we jump back in because I was away from the game for a minute. 18. Okay, good because I've cashed in 20. We're only two short from getting another reward. Bunch of kids. They want you to put you on trial. Okay. So we got to find these kids' treasure, and I don't know if the story continues without us doing this. Also, something flashed right here that wasn't flashing before, because it doesn't start flashing until you actually... Yeah, I guess you have to get introduced to this quest first. So the large balloon we found. Gondola model. Next to Sith that looks just like it. What? I don't know what Sith is. Yeah, Split Infinity uses abbreviations, and he does give you a guide to what the abbreviations are. But I'm like, why are you doing abbreviations? I don't really... Yeah, you're not writing by hand here, buddy. Whatever. You could even write abbreviations and then control find and put in the full term later if it's taking a long time to write the abbreviations. So that's a model gondola, and then the last one is loves to go shopping down the road you're on. Okay. Yeah, now okay, so they weren't flashing before. I was like, how are you supposed to find these things? So they don't exist to find until you've talked to the kids. Doll and address obtained. Let me look at these things and see if I'm... This is so unimportant, but I'm curious if they have descriptions. Child's toy gondola. A doll very dear to many children, or at least that one. A large balloon that any child would love. There's also a memory lamp. Magic diary orb that can recall recent memories. Shattered bond. A shattered armband with the word bond carved into it. Not sure if I missed a quest where I was supposed to turn that in. You found my doll, wow. Oh, my gondola model. Guess that was too easy for you? Kid looks like he's wearing a necktie for some reason to me. I think it's an arm, a shoulder strap. Bingo, that's my balloon. Good work. Nice work, rather. Bingo. Oh, you found all the treasures. Well, I guess you'll be the first grown-up to join our club then. Yeah, it's a shoulder strap, but it looks, because he's got this weird collar around his neck, it looks like he's wearing a necktie that is angled oddly. And here's your proof of membership. I found this in a trash can over there. Pretty cool, huh? Don't be shy with it. Kalolan earrings obtained. Yeah, put them on. Show them off to the people-minded. Sir Territory, if you want to come in, you gotta fight me. What? I'm grown up so loud, but I'll play with you some other time. I thought we joined their club. You stop bothering me in the middle of a really important conversation. Okay, never mind, you kids. We got your treasure. You don't want us in your club? We won't be in your club. Screw you. Recover MP when defend is used. Grants immunity to Kalolan. Apparently, there's a status where we get turned into those little weird... Kalolans are never really explained either. I was kind of waiting throughout the game for them to tell us what they are. Because we see them and they seem to have clothing and they seem to have different roles in their society. I thought maybe there'd be a quest where we have to work with them or learn something about them. Nah. Okay. We have to examine the stand for a dream. Keep walking northwest to be on the lookout for the doll. Give the doll back to children. Read a Kalolan earring. Turn northwest and enter the door near where you picked up the doll. Okay. So this is an actual door worth exploring. We are in the Kate family house, because of course we just barged right in. 2 pots. Doesn't look like there's anything in here we actually care about. I wonder if the story will matter here later. Healing herb is obtained. Need to get some insect innards. There's lots of stuff flashing for us to see. Hey, did I pick up an item at some point, or like, do I have something on now? Stand ready status analysis. I'm wondering like, if treasure analysis is actually a thing where I'm now... factual analysis. Covers MP when it's used. Maybe give her turntail. And that way, instead of... Oh, he didn't have turntail. Yeah, somebody should always have turntail, probably. Okay. Because he had it from a piece of gear. This increases max MP, but I'm wondering if... Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm wondering if some item is making all these treasures glow. Brave Little Boy, Part 1. Oh, never mind. It's not treasure, it's why. Once there was a little boy who was very brave. He was also very well behaved, so all of his family loved him very much. They wouldn't have if he didn't behave. In a nearby mountain, there was an evil monster who liked to cause trouble for the people in town, ruining their crops and kidnapping their children. He was strong. His fangs were sharp, and his body was covered with tough scales, so none of the soldiers in the land were strong enough to defeat him. One day, the brave little boy saw how distressed the townspeople were. "Why is everyone crying?" he asked his mother. "The evil monster kidnapped the princess," she answered. "Oh man, they snuck in another short story, but this time it's not even a memory." "Why was the princess kidnapped?" the boy asked. "The monster likes little children and beautiful princesses the most because their meat is soft and succulent," answered the mother. "Why is no one helping the princess?" the boy asked. The mother answered. "The soldiers tried to rescue her, but they were all killed by the monster." The monster was one of the strongest in the land. Even when every soldier in town banded together, I was about to suggest, why didn't they all go together? They seem to be fighting him one-on-one. He just opened his enormous mouth and swallowed them up all at once. "But mother," the boy exclaimed, "doesn't he have any weaknesses?" "The monster has no scales on the tip of its tail," his mother said, "so when you touch it, they say it pains him terribly." "But the monster's crafty. He never shows his tail to anyone. He always keeps his enemy in front of him." Upon hearing that from his mother, the brave little boy had a brilliant idea. To be continued. Oh, we gotta find out about the rest of this. I hope this isn't part 3. Brave Little Boy, part 2. Sneaking out of town one day, the brave little boy was spotted by his friend, the little bird. "Where are you going? The monster is ahead. It's dangerous." "That's exactly what I need your help with. Could you go to the other side of the mountain and peck the monster on the head for me? If you're smart, you can do it while flying." The bird perched on the little boy's shoulder. "All right, you're my friend, so I'll help you." The boy and the bird climbed the mountain. The bones of the monster's victims were scattered across the mountainside, and the monster's fearsome... Sorry, I was checking my time. Fearsome bellow grew louder and louder. "Here I go," said the boy as it took... "Here I go," said the bird as it took off, and the boy collected some sharp, pointy stones and put them in his pocket. As he approached the mountaintop, the boy saw the gigantic monster. He sat still and waited silently until, from the other side of the mountain, he saw the bird shoot down like an arrow and peck the monster's head with his sharp beak. The monster, surprised, turned around and tried to swallow the impertinent little bird. Just then, the boy lunged at the monster's exposed tail and drove his sharp stone deep into the soft flesh of the beast. The monster flailed about in pain, but the boy held on to his tail, refusing to let go. One by one, he plunged all the sharp stones from his pocket into the monster's tail. Eventually, it proved to be too much for the mighty beast, and with a mighty thump, he fell to the ground. Then got back up and said, "Oh, that hurt," and killed the little boy. The brave little boy found the kidnapped princess and returned home to his mother. The brave little boy married the princess, and the bird friend was awarded all the bread and crusts he could eat, and they all lived happily after. The end. Okay. Be quiet. Mom will notice me. Mom said the kids shouldn't touch the bookshelf. If we broke or messed up anything, she'd get mad at us again. Yeah, these stories are not mentioned in the fact. I'm thinking they don't do anything. Well, blinding powder is obtained, thank goodness. So there's insect innards someplace that in another pot. There's 2 pots here. Did I only check one of them? Only one of them seems to count. Okay, this is a separate pot. So, having 2 children is just making my head spin. They haven't started arguing with each other yet today, but the day's still young. Those kids are always picking up stuff and hiding it around here. If you find anything strange, just take it with you, alright? Please loot my house. Alright, there's money in here. See, 10 gangsters. It's totally worth the trip. They're always hiding things, like money. If you find money on my house, please take it away. 100 gangsters. Alright, well, perhaps someday later the Kitla family... Hey, Kitla, I only want to speak to Kitla. Kitla presents. Maybe the Kitla family will matter later. I kind of doubt it. So we're supposed to go northwest, which I guess is this way. There's 10 gold. Cross the bridge, examine the plan along the west side for a key seed. There's an old lady. Hey, are you Sino? Just wondering. Calm Neana. Watching the river flow reminds me of all the years that have passed by. I wonder what someone like the Queen would see, looking on this river with 1,000 years of memories. Queen's 1,000 years old. She doesn't look a day over 800. This old boy hasn't been feeling well lately. He starts sulking over the littlest things. Hey, he's a bridge guard. I guess they let him do that after he's, you know, gotten hideously old. 5 poisonous bones. I want them bones. I want them bones. I'm willing to break a lot of stones. Wait. The old man over there's a weirdo. He loves the drawbridge more than anybody else. He loves the drawbridge more than he loves anybody else, or he loves the drawbridge more than anybody else loves the drawbridge? You gotta clarify, kid. Alright, so there's a, we missed a pot somewhere, because we should have gotten a key seed instead of just... Yeah, I think we missed a key seed. They're very important, folks. Very important. I should have found it before I got the 5 times poisonous bones. Across the bridge, examine the plant. Oh, it's a plant. Yeah, sometimes the apples in the trees turn out to actually be key seeds. So you gotta hit just the right angle, or it doesn't count. So we got a seed. It's an apple seed. Johnny Crapple seed over here. So this... Yeah, can enter... Do you want me to get in there or not, game? I guess that's decorative. I'm supposed to go through a door, but I think it must be up here. Suppose I'll know in a minute if I enter this place and it's the wrong building, because this is supposed to be... yeah, Sonoman family house. Mana herb, 100G. Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on here either. Hey, maybe we can find out more about the brave little boy. Maybe it'll be a story about a brave little girl. The Eastern Tribe Campaign. Under the rule of its 1,000-year-old queen, Numata enjoyed an unprecedented period of peace. The hypercurrent served as a barrier against outside invasions, and Her Majesty's policy of peaceful coexistence serves to strengthen the nation. Yeah, alright. Well, if you control the narrative, it certainly helps. History is written by the 1,000-year queen here. Numara first faced danger 500 years ago when an eastern tribe wielding powerful spirit magic sent a massive force into Numara. The army entered from the southwest, clashing with our forces in a fierce battle on the Lust Forge that covers the region. This battle dealt a severe blow to Numara, although it is hard to imagine now. At the time, only a small handful of people, including Her Majesty, had magical abilities. The magical power source itself is still weak, and much of magic's inner workings were still a mystery. The Eastern tribe uses spirit magic to engage in warfare in ways the Numarans had never imagined. As with black and white magic, spirit magic takes advantage of a mysterious unknown power, but its basic principles and methods are far from similar. In the end, the battle concluded with Numara's victory after Her Majesty reluctantly made use of her arsenal of black magic. The forest was soaked with the blood of Numarans and Eastern tribesmen, with countless dead on both sides buried where they lay. The battlefield, known today as the Crimson Forest, is now home to a legion of wandering spirits. Her Majesty, concerned with the danger the forest poses, has prohibited entry into the woods ever since. Fun. The Western Campaign. Great snacks for kids. Sweet, fluffy, steamed cakes are a hit among children everywhere. Add in some fruit for a novel delight. Ingredients: eggs, milk, sugar, flour, 1 teaspoon baking soda, baking powder, rather pinch of salt, fruits as many as you like. There probably should be a limit. First, sip the flour and baking powder. Mix the eggs, milk, sugar, and salt in a bowl and beat well. Then blend in the sifted flour and baking powder. Cut the fruit into small pieces and work into the mix, leaving a small amount to decorate the finished cake later. Put the mix into molds and place into the steamer. Because you have one of those, right? We did mention that. Put in a toothpick and check if it comes out clean. If it does, the steamed cake is done. Dress it up with various colorful fruits to dazzle your children. Best served hot with tea. That doesn't seem like enough information to follow. Alright, well, so we're supposed to get mana herb out of a pot. Items in the north room there. The game doesn't really seem to care if we talk to these people or not. And by the game, I mean Split Infinity. There's our mana herb. My daughter-in-law is such a cool individual. She hasn't stopped by for years. You guys are small. He's like more than a head taller than her. My grandkids are all grown up, so you'd think she would have time to visit. Oh, I just knew that girl was trouble. Wait, are they both wives? Oh, he's gentle husband. And she's gentle chaplain. I mean, they could have been two different wives, both with different husbands, who just happened to be visiting in one of their homes. 4 mighty carapaces, Amon's mighty servant. Are you collecting an item, or is it just a book floating towards you? Oh. There's 10G in a drawer here. We can't miss that. I guess some of the, like, as I say that, I'm passing by a drawer with nothing in it. I was going to say that drawers seem to consistently have something in them, but 10G is kind of the smallest reward you can get. But, then I passed by one that had nothing in it. Alright. It's been a pretty uneventful video, but that's okay. I spent a few minutes talking about my problems with the stories. But, we're just sort of having a chill exploration of the town. Return outside and go all the way back to Facade. Oh! Is this the actual exit of the town? Oh, I might not have wanted to go here yet. Port of Numara. Okay, I don't want to actually go here. I think that'll advance the story. I got lucky there, because that could have been bad if we had accidentally advanced the story before we got all of our stuff. Wait a second. They're telling us to go back and talk to Rona and then come all the way back here. Never mind, I think we did deal with Rona. Would it like having a Rona? Because there was the girl with the... yeah, because we already talked to that girl whose dog returned to her. I wonder if they mentioned her name. Talk to Rona, the girl whose dog we went missing. Okay, never mind. So we are actually supposed to be done and going up to... because the guide... I got a little confused. The guide is actually sending us all the way back. Go all the way back to Facade, which is the beginning. Talk to Rona, get your reward. Head all the way north to the port of Numara. Okay. That's what's happening. So this is where we need to go now. So I'm going to throw down a save on that screen because it did look like we could safely enter. And we'll call it a video. And at a glance, I can't tell how long it is before we start fighting monsters and stuff again, but I feel like we're getting close. This is not the right... oh, systems, it will work here, okay. Yeah, let's call it a video, and when we come back next time, we will... got you, human. We will, be exploring into the port and other stuff as well. Thanks for watching.